Yeah. Because there was an extra one for Sharon, I gave her that. Okay, ready to go? Okay. I'd like to call to order the Cuyahoga County Council regular meeting for Tuesday, November the 13th, 2012. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Calling the roll, Ms. Conwell. Here. Mr. Jones.
Here.
Mr. Rogers.
Here.
Ms. Simon.
Here.
Mr. Greenspan.
Here. First.
Mr. Miller. Here. Mr. Brady.
Here.
Mr. Germana.
Here.
Mr. Gallagher.
Here.
Mr. Schron. Mr. Schron is absent. Ms. Conley.
Here.
There is a quorum.
Madam President,
Mr. Miller.
I move that the absence of Council Member Schron be excused.
Moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Ms. Conwell that Mr. Sharon's absence be marked excused. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. We'll mark his meeting attendance as excused. Will you please rise for a pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For our meditation this evening, we'd like to reflect on this day after Veterans Day to recognize all veterans who have served in national conflicts. Item 5, has anyone signed in for public comment related to the agenda?
Madam President, no one has signed in to speak.
The minutes for the work session of October 23rd and the regular meeting of October 23rd are in your packet. If everyone has had an opportunity to review those minutes, I'll entertain a motion to approve them as circulated.
Move to approve. Second.
Moved by Mr. Germana and seconded by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. We will have two changes on the agenda. Item 15 will be moved to the end of the agenda, and we'll be taking item 12 out of order. I'd just like to say that I had an opportunity to sit in on the administration's presentation to the bond ratings hearings this past week. I want to congratulate Executive Fitzgerald, Director Benders from the Development Department, Fiscal Officer Steen, and OBM Director Mr. Rubino for a very thorough and clear explanation of the county's financial picture. I also want to know, or on council to know, that the presentation also included acknowledgments of council's appropriate oversight of the county's operation through our committee structure, our adoption of the biennial budget, now approved by the voters in their charter amendment, and as our good working relationship with the administration. So congratulations to the administrations for an excellent presentation. Mr. Fitzgerald.
Madam President, the only thing I was going to mention was what you just did. Basically, we had our presentations to Fitch and Moody's and S&P, and we felt that they went well. It's a challenging environment for the bond market, but I just wanted to compliment council. And actually, some of the bond rating agencies mentioned specifically some of the actions that council had taken, both in setting up the $100 million fund and establishing appropriate reserves and maintaining just also the 2-year budget process. And so I just wanted to, as you heard me say during the presentations, I just wanted to compliment council for strengthening the presentation that we were able to make. We should get a response from them in the next couple weeks, and I'll share it with council and the public as soon as we do so.
It was an interesting process, and I was impressed by the people that interviewed us. I mean, they were really youthful. I was thinking like you're going to get like some...
it was kind of humbling. Right.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we were going to get like some 90-year-old guys or something, and it was. They were very youthful and very enthusiastic and obviously very learned. So it was an interesting process. Okay. Anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay. We're going to go to item 12 on the agenda, committee reports and consideration of an ordinance of council for second reading under suspension of the rule. This matter has gone to committee, and we need a motion to suspend Rule 9D to waive a third reading. Ms. Simon?
Thank you, Madam President. I move we suspend the rules.
It's been moved and seconded we suspend Rule 9D. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. The rules are suspended. Item 0032.
Ordinance number 2012-0032, an ordinance amending ordinance number 2011-0008 as amended, which enacted the Cuyahoga County Code of Ethics and declaring the necessity that this ordinance become immediately effective.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Conwell and seconded by Mr. Miller. Did you want to be heard on this, Mr. Greenspan?
Sure. Thank you, Madam President. What we're doing here is amending one provision in the ethics ordinance regarding the eligibility of members to serve on committees, boards, and agencies. This amendment will allow members to serve on boards, committees, and agencies who work for an agency or have an interest in an agency, but will not be heard by a committee or an appointment to which they serve. If that makes sense, I hope it does. So this clarifies and provides for those who work for an organization to serve on a committee to which the committee they're appointed to does not have an interest.
So it expands the pool of people who can
Correct.
serve on various county boards and commissions.
Correct.
Right. Any other questions or discussions? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. All right, we're going to go back to number 9. Consideration of motions of council for first reading adoption under suspension of the rules. I'm asking for a motion to suspend Rule 12A and 9D. Item 9 concerns the appointments of 2 persons to the Board of Metro Hospital pursuant to item 2.03, subsection 2 of the Charter. Council must act on appointments within 30 days. This appointment was submitted to council on October 23rd. There has been one committee hearing on this matter. In order to stay within the 30-day framework, the item is placed on the agenda for this evening for a vote. As a result, I entertain a motion to suspend the rules.
We suspend the rules.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. We suspend the rules. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. The rules are suspended. Item 0028.
Motion number 2012-0028, a motion confirming the county executive's appointment of Sharon Sobel Jordan to serve on the Metro Health System Board of Trustees and declaring the necessity that this motion become immediately effective.
Moved by Mr. Rogers and seconded by Ms. Conwell. Any discussion on this item? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and is Ms. Sobel Jordan here? Congratulations to your appointment to the Metro Board, which commences immediately. All right. Item 0029.
Motion number 2012-0029, a motion confirming the county executive's appointment of Samuel R. Houston to serve on the Metro Health System Board of Trustees and declaring the necessity that this motion become immediately effective.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Conwell and seconded by Ms. Simon. Is any discussion on this item? I believe we're going to have a roll call vote on this item. A yes vote is to confirm the appointment. A no vote is not to confirm the appointment. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Calling the roll on motion 2012-0029. Ms. Conwell? No. Mr. Jones?
No.
Mr. Rogers?
No.
Ms. Simon? Yes. Mr. Greenspan?
No.
Mr. Miller?
No.
Mr. Brady?
No.
Mr. Germana? No. Mr. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Schron is absent. And Ms. Conwell?
Connolly?
Sorry, Ms. Conley.
No. All right, there are, you want to read the total, Madam Clerk?
There are 2 yeas and 8 nays. The motion does not carry.
All right, the motion does not carry. Item 12, I'm sorry, item 10, motion of consideration of a motion of council for first reading and referral to committee. Item 0030.
Motion 2012-0030, a motion amending the rules of the Cuyahoga County Council to clarify the process and powers related to the sponsorship of legislation and declaring the necessity that this motion become immediately effective.
This matter will go to the Rules Committee. Did you want to be heard on it, Mr. Greenspan, or just send it to committee?
Just send it to committee and,
Okay.
thank you.
All right, item 11, committee report and consideration of an ordinance for second reading.
Ordinance number 2012-0020, an ordinance establishing the Cuyahoga County-based Business Preference Program.
All right, and this matter will go on the agenda for the meeting of November 27th. All right, we've already done item 12. Item 13, committee report and consideration of an ordinance of council for second reading and referral to committee.
Ordinance number 2011-0053, an ordinance establishing a Department of Consumer Affairs and the powers and duties of the Director of Consumer Affairs, and placing the duties and responsibilities of the operation of weights and measures of the county under the direction of the Department of Consumer Affairs.
This matter will be on for a committee of the whole on November the 27th. And is that at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock?
1 o'clock.
All right, it'll be 1 o'clock on the 27th for a committee of the whole. Item 14, consideration of a resolution for first reading adoption or suspension of the rule. This is our bi-weekly budget adjustments, so we need a motion to suspend Rule 12A and 9D. Ms. Simon?
I move we suspend the rules.
Second.
All right, been moved and second, we suspend the rules. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The rules are suspended. Item 0230.
Resolution number 2012-0230, a resolution amending the 2012-2013 biennial operating budget for 2012 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations from the general fund and other funding sources, for appropriation transfers between budget accounts, and for cash transfers between budgetary funds in order to meet the budgetary needs of various county departments, offices, and agencies, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Mr. Germana. Mr. Miller, did you want to be heard on this?
Madam President, my colleagues, this consists of mostly routine transfers and appropriation of grants. The one major item is a $1 million contract to start preparations for the $30 million renovation of the Justice Center. I ask for the approval from my colleagues.
And for those watching or are interested, all these transfers are available online as a part of the agenda. So they're actually posted as soon as we post the agenda. So as we indicated, they're just transfers within existing budget items. All right. Any other discussion, questions? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Item 15 is the matter we're going to take in executive session, so we'll go on to item 16, consideration of resolution for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution number 2012-0232, resolution amending the 2012-2013 biennial operating budget for 2013 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations from the general fund and other funding sources, for appropriation transfers between budget accounts, and for cash transfers between budgetary funds in order to meet the budgetary needs of various county departments, offices, and agencies, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
President.
Mr. Miller.
This item is the proposed 2013 update of the budget. We had an overview earlier today in Committee of the Whole, and we will hear departments and agencies tomorrow starting at 9 a.m. And I would like to make a motion to substitute the title and actual resolution that we received from the administration for the placeholder that was included in the agenda.
Moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Mr. Gallagher is it to change the title?
To substitute, and both substitute the title, the new title, and also to include the actual resolution that was submitted by the administration.
Okay. Any discussion on that? right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Now, we will be hearing this tomorrow morning, starting at 9 o'clock, and it will be a marathon day, so wear your comfortable clothes and all that.
A point of clarification, is it appropriate that I read into the record the substituted title, or,
Yeah, you can go ahead and
Does
read
it
it.
not matter?
Go ahead and read it.
Wouldn't hurt.
okay. Reading into the record the substitute title for Resolution Number 2012-0232, a resolution adopting the biennial operating budget and capital improvements program annual update for 2013, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Okay. All right, item 0233.
Resolution number 2012-0233, a resolution making an award on requisition number 24839 to Highland Group Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $3,600,000 for risk management services and insurance brokerage and premiums through and including December 31st, 2015, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award in this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Now, this matter will go to the Finance Committee.
Resolution number 2012-0234, a resolution making awards on requisition number 23838 to various municipalities and providers in the total amount not to exceed $2,376,110 for various services for the Community Social Services Program for the period January 1, 2013 through December 31, 2014, authorizing the county executive to execute the agreements, contracts, and all other documents consistent with said awards in this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective with the municipalities and providers in the amounts not to exceed, and for the services as printed on the agenda, items 16C1 through 18.
This matter will go to Health and Human Services.
Resolution number 2012-0235, a resolution making an award on requisition number 25385 to Hewlett-Packard Company in the amount not to exceed $653,391.44 for 750 HP Z220 computer workstations for the Department of Information Technology, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award in this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
This matter will go to the Finance Committee.
Resolution number 2012-0236, a resolution making an award on requisition number 24975 to Chagrin Valley Paving Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $1,674,072.45 for full-depth recycle with asphalt overlay of Columbia Road from Butternut Ridge Road to Lorraine Road in the city of North Olmsted, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award and this resolution, and authorizing the county engineer on behalf of the county executive to make an application for allocation from county motor vehicle $5 license tax funds in the amount of $334,814.49 to fund said contract.
This matter will go to Public Works.
Resolution number 2012-0237, a resolution amending resolution number 2012-0162, which made awards to various municipalities for various municipal grant projects for the Community Development Block Grant Program for the period September 1, 2012 through December 31, 2013, to change the total amount from $1,492,641.88 to $1,842,641.88, and to make an award to City of Rocky River in the amount of $350,000 for the Linda Street Improvement Project, a Tier 1 project, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
This matter will go to Economic Development.
Resolution number 2012-0238, a resolution making an award on requisition number 23777 to Oriana House Incorporated in the amount of $1,050,000 for operation of the North Star Neighborhood Reentry Resource Center for the period January 1, 2013 through December 31, 2015, and authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award and this resolution.
Now we'll go to Justice Affairs.
Resolution number 2012-0239, a resolution authorizing amendments to contracts with various providers for emergency assistance services for the period September 1, 2012 through August 31, 2014, for additional funds in the total amount not to exceed $700,000, authorizing the county executive to execute the amendments and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective for the contract numbers, the providers, and in the amounts not to exceed, as printed on the agenda, items 16H 1 through 5.
Next matter will go to Health and Human Services.
Resolution number 2012-0240, a resolution authorizing the county executive and Department of Public Works to release an amount not to exceed $500,000 from the Medical Mart Contingency Fund to the Cleveland Sports Commission when the 2013 Senior Games are held at the Convention Center, authorizing the county executive and Department of Public Works to negotiate and execute any necessary contract or other documents for same.
So matter will go to Economic Development. Item 17, committee reports and consideration of resolutions for second reading, adoption, or suspension of the rule. This matter has been to committee, and so we need a motion to suspend Rule 9D to waive the third reading. Ms. Simon?
Move we suspend that rule.
Second.
All right, been moved and second, we suspend Rule 9D. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The rules are suspended. Item 0219.
Resolution number 2012-0219, a resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of healthcare and independent living facilities revenue bonds, Series 2012, Eliza Jennings Senior Care Network Project, in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $25 million for the purposes of currently refunding bonds issued by the county and paying certain costs of issuance, providing for the assignment of revenues for the payment of those bonds, authorizing the execution and delivery of amendments to base leases, amendments to leases, supplemental trust indentures, a bond purchase agreement, a first amended assignment of rights under leases, a first amended assignment of basic rent, and other instruments and documents in connection with the issuance of those bonds, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Ms. Conwell. Is there any discussion on this?
Madam President?
Yes.
I would respectfully like my name added.
All right, we add Mr. Miller's name, please. And Ms. Conwell? Okay, there's no further discussion. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item 0228.
Resolution number 2012-0228, a resolution amending the 2012-2013 biennial operating budget for 2012 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations from the general fund and other funding sources, for appropriation transfers between budget accounts, and for cash transfers between budgetary funds in order to meet the budgetary needs of various county departments, offices, and agencies related to year-end closeout activities, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Ms. Conwell. Any discussion on this item?
Madam President
Yes, Mr. Miller.
and my colleagues, this resolution authorizes year-end budget adjustments. To facilitate year-end closeout, this is the only of these resolutions that authorizes the administration within established limits to make appropriation changes and transfers without prior council approval of the specific items. Like last year's year-end resolution, the administration will provide weekly reports of changes made and will submit another resolution in January requesting approval confirming the changes made. And I ask for your approval.
Any questions, discussion? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Item 0229.
Resolution number 2012-0229, a resolution authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 1200-211 with United Way of Greater Cleveland for food and allocation of funds for hunger centers serving needy residents in Cuyahoga County for the period April 1, 2012 through December 31, 2012.
Move approval. I'm sorry.
To extend the time, I had to breathe, I'm sorry. To extend the time period to December 31, 2013, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $1,095,450, and authorizing the county executive to execute the amendment and all other documents consistent with this resolution.
Second.
I think it's Mr. Brady's committee, so it's moved by Brady
We got it.
and moved by, and seconded by Mr. Miller. All
Madam
right,
Chairperson?
Mr. Brady.
Yes. Madam Chairperson, this resolution amends for a full year a contract with the United Way of Greater Cleveland for its allocation of funds for the county's subsidized hunger centers, the administrative oversight of the funds, and an ongoing evaluation of the program. United Way is completing its first year of managing these funds and has been very successful in getting many of the community partners to work together. And this is 100% HHS.
Okay, any questions, discussion? All those in, Mr. Jones' name, please. All right, any other discussions, questions? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Item 18, consideration of ordinance for first reading and referral to committee.
Ordinance number 2012-0033, an ordinance authorizing adoption of the statutorily required contribution to Ohio Public Employees Retirement System for employees in various classifications of Cuyahoga County pursuant to Internal Revenue Code, Section 414H2, and declaring the necessity that this ordinance become immediately effective for the classifications as listed on the agenda, items 18A 1 through 3.
This matter will go to Human Resources.
Ordinance number 2012-0034, an ordinance amending the administrative rules for the Cuyahoga County Human Resource Commission and declaring the necessity that this ordinance become immediately effective.
This goes to Human Resource also. Item 19, report of the clerk on legislation withdrawing a request of sponsors. This is, will not require a vote. Ms. Schmeisser?
Yes, this is new and in accordance with the council rules that have recently been amended. And Council Rule 11F2 states that I need to report on any items that have been withdrawn at written request. And so this item has been withdrawn at the request of the executive.
All right, moving on to item 20, are there any miscellaneous committee reports? You want to start this way, and any miscellaneous committee reports?
Thank you, Madam President. The Ethics Committee had an item referred to it, Rules Committee and Ethics referred to it today. What I'd like to do is meet on December 11th at 3 p.m., which will be an hour before our work session at 4 p.m. I don't believe our work will last the full hour, but I want to give us that time. And just as a mention, at 4 p.m. on the 11th, the Director of Human Resources or the Inspector, I think Director of Human Resources, will be presenting the ethics. Every year, if we remember from our ethics ordinance, every county employee is required to go through ethics training. This year, the Director has prepared an online training for all county employees. We will receive a demonstration which will then qualify us for having met our annual requirement for obtaining annual ethics training update. That will be at 4 p.m. on the 11th. So for committee members at 3, council is committee of the whole at 4.
So anybody wants to see the ethics training, that would be a good meeting for them to come to.
Absolutely, and we're required to comply, so this would satisfy that requirement.
Okay. All right, anything else? Miscellaneous business, Mr. Miller?
Madam President, the Committee of the Whole on the budget will meet tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. and again on Tuesday the 27th in the Committee of the Whole sometime after 1 o'clock, after the other item that's also being heard in that Committee of the Whole. The next regularly scheduled meeting of the Finance Committee would occur during Thanksgiving week, and I'm hoping not to meet then and instead to meet at the following time on Monday, December 3rd at 1 p.m. But I am going to need to consult with the administration as to how quickly the 2 items that were referred today need to be acted upon. So I will keep everybody informed. Thank you.
Okay.
Madam
Brady?
Chairperson, the Health and Human Service Committee will meet this Thursday, but we will be meeting, unfortunately, not at our regular time, but at 2 o'clock, because we're trying to make room for the tour of the properties, the Committee of the Whole, to take a look at the property.
Madam President, the Public Works Committee meeting will not meet this coming Thursday as a result of our Committee of the Whole meeting, and the next Thursday is a holiday, so we will have to find an off day. So I may talk with the committee if Friday is a good day, the next day, but we can discuss that and
Friday after Thanksgiving?
before Thanksgiving. But we can discuss it and have it posted next week.
Anyone else?
The fair is on December 7th, 11.
Any miscellaneous business?
Madam President, I do. I just wanted to bring to council and to the residents of Cuyahoga County that yesterday in South Euclid was the dedication of a Purple Hearts home, and this is the first of its kind in Ohio, where Iraq vets got together with this program to find housing for the men and women who served, who've come back. Purple Heart Home is the first one in South Euclid. In conjunction with the land bank, this house was actually one of the land bank homes in South Euclid, which now has been turned over to be renovated with partnership with the city nonprofit group, and we're renovating this home for an Iraq vet and his wife and their service dog, and it's really, really exciting. So I want to look to our budget to have this be not our first, but to have a second and a third of these homes. It's amazing what we can do with these land bank homes, and I know that we have some money perhaps coming back from the Veterans Commission that's not used, because that money's so restricted that the Purple Heart applications were turned down. They couldn't use any of that money, so I want us, if we can, to look at our budget when we get this money back that was unused, to maybe find more ways we can help with the Purple Heart Home. It was really exciting and heartfelt. People came out in the pouring rain yesterday and were soaked, but it was really moving and something that I think we could really do something with in the county.
And I guess they're also accepting volunteers to help, do part of the work, so.
I'll bring information, everything. They need a lot of help from us, and there's a dinner fundraiser on December 7th, which I can give to people if they're interested. So it's an amazing endeavor, and the people who are moving in are just great. So
It's a nice dog also. No, I saw it on TV. Any other miscellaneous business, any public comment unrelated to the agenda?
Madam President, no one has signed in to speak.
All right, listed on our agenda for this evening are the meetings, and most of them have been referred to. Tomorrow, November 14th, and then Thursday, November 15th, we have an executive session dealing with properties. Possibly we'll be meeting on the 16th, and then on the 20th, we have a committee of the whole regarding the properties. The 27th, we have consumer affairs, finance, and then our final meeting of the year will be on December 11th. Let's go back to item 15 is an executive session item. All meetings of the Cuyahoga County Council are open to the public under the Ohio Open Meeting Laws. Under that law, council may go into executive session during a meeting for specifically authorized purposes. During executive session, council confers outside the hearing of the public. Council may not make any decisions about any matters in executive session. All decisions are made in public. This evening, council will go into executive session regarding the matter involving collective bargaining. During this time, our live stream will be down, and we will ask those who are not specifically needed for the executive session to leave the council chambers. Anyone may re-enter once the executive session is ended. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
Second.
A move by Ms. Conwell and seconded by Mr. Jones. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Moving to executive session, Ms. Conwell?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Ms. Simon? Yes. Mr. Greenspan?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Germana?
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Schron is absent, and Ms. Conley?
Yes.
Motion carries.
The motion carries. Will go into executive session, and which should probably be about 20 minutes, half an hour.